Alrighty, boys and girls, morning coffee 228, and it is a beautiful morning out there. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping. Candace is pregnant. Dude, I could breathe on Candace and she'd drop eggs. But I can hear Maury Povich's voice just loud and clear. You are the father. And it ain't me. So the trolls can't blame this one on me, not this time, because it ain't nothing to do with me. I didn't do shit. I tried to tell her to stay the fuck away from everybody, but nobody listens to me, as usual. Anyway, Candace blocked me on WhatsApp. After reading my messages, she blocked me on WhatsApp. That can only mean one thing, is that it finally dawned on her that her cherry has been popped and that she's pregnant. Because that's what happened. That's exactly what fucking happened. And we're all adults. We're not stupid. Okay, she wasn't on her fucking period. That was her cherry being popped. And she is fertile as fuck. So whoever did the deed, you are the father. Oh, shit. And I'll tell you what, whoever is the father, all joking aside, whoever is the father better get their ass to the family courthouse and admit to it. Because if that judge has to send out a sheriff to come find your ass, oh, that will not end well, motherfucker. It will not end well. You better get your ass to the family court there in Wisconsin and confess your sins. Because I tell you, if that family court judge has to send a sheriff out to find your ass, you're going to be in a lot of hot water, and you're going to be doing a hell of a lot more than just paying child support. Guaranteed on that shit. You'll be spending that time in jail. So now you better be confessing your sins up there at the courthouse fast. Take it from me. I know. I've been on both sides of that aisle, and I know. Anywho, enough said of that, because we got somebody interesting to talk about this morning. And he goes by the handle of Blue. And his moniker is a little cartoon character of some dude playing a banjo. And so we're going to talk about Blue this morning because we can, and because we should. Because Blue, as it turns out, is a member of the Honor Network. Now, Honor is spelled funny. It's spelled capital H, capital O, capital N, capital R. Honr. And it's called the Honor Network. And it was created by Lenny Posner of Sandy Hook fame. And he created this organization as a online terrorist organization. What they do, what the members of this group do, is they run around finding people that are talking about Sandy Hook. And then their mission then is to silence them any way that they can. Destroy their family, get their marriage broken up, get them in trouble with the law. Whatever they got to do to destroy them, that's what they do. And so Blue is a real, actual, bona fide domestic terrorist as defined by the law. And YouTube has been harboring this individual for how many years now, YouTube? Yeah, a long time. Anyways, so good old Blue. Now, Blue has many aliases. All right, he has a lot of fake names. And by fake names, I don't mean on YouTube. Although he does have those too. No, what I mean by aliases is I mean in the real world. Okay, he's got several names in the real world because, hey, he's a real fucking terrorist, you morons. But anyways, the name that I use most often is called Aaron Gray. That's the name that I use. But like I said, he has so many fucking real names. Pick one, you know. But I use Aaron Gray, and he's lied numerous times about his location. One time he said he was in Cincinnati. The next time he said he was in Illinois, one of the cities in Illinois. Not Chicago, but maybe it was Chicago, Illinois. I don't know, but he's constantly lying about his location, and he's got numerous real life aliases. So anyway, now good old Blue here I don't know, there seems to be some kind of connection with him and Todd, which is pretty interesting because both of them have at least been accused of nefarious activities with other gentlemen. Let's put it in a polite way. and it's very interesting that would be. But hey, that's what's out there. Furthermore, apparently Blue is racist as fuck towards Asians, which is kind of interesting because I'm the exact opposite towards Asians, especially Asian women. I prefer Asian women. That's always been my preference. It will not change. I mean, I'll date any woman, but if I have a preference, it will be Asian women. Yes, absolutely. Anyways, so he has a deep-seated hatred for Asians, particularly the Chinese, for some reason, and has stated on numerous occasions with witnesses that he would kill Asians if he got the chance. Okay, so, we're talking about a real terrorist here, folks. We're not talking about something that I dreamed up or somebody else dreamed up. We're talking about an actual real terrorist here, a real domestic terrorist that YouTube has been harboring for years. Hi, YouTube. But anyways, there was a flap about him since he may have homosexual tendencies. There was a flap about him possibly having full-blown AIDS. We do know that he was very anemic. I mean, I could blow on the guy and he would fall down. He's extremely thin. I mean, anemic thin. He's not just a skinny guy. I've seen skinny guys. No. This dude is anemic. Bad. Which means, like I said, one of the things that's being bandied about is that he has full-blown AIDS. Well, I don't know. And that's for a doctor to decide anyway. But, just piecing the pieces of puzzle together here is all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. I'm just putting the pieces of puzzle together and see what kind of picture forms. But Blue has been a long-time enemy of me. That is not, because I was very outspoken about Sandy Hook. He supposedly he made a comment. I'm checking my notes here. Supposedly he threatened to hang some Chinese people as well. So wow, yeah, that's pretty hardcore right there. So Mr. Blue has apparently got the attention of some people, and so hopefully that'll be a good thing. There was some kind of mention about possible group home or something like that. Would you care to explain that, Blue? I mean, since the block and the ban doesn't work on YouTube, block and the ban. If you block somebody or ban somebody on YouTube, folks, it doesn't work. They can still post, they can still rate, they can still comment, they can still do shit. If you block somebody on YouTube, it's a fucking joke. If you block somebody or ban somebody on YouTube, it's a fucking joke because it doesn't do shit. The only thing the block and ban feature does is it keeps you from seeing what they're writing. That's it. That's all it does. So it's a fucking joke. Their block function doesn't work. It literally doesn't work. It's fucking hilarious. If I go to any other website and I hit a block button, you ain't seeing my shit no more. You're blocked. But if you block somebody on YouTube, they just keep right on posting. They just post behind the scenes, They just post behind the scenes. But anyways, enough about YouTube's proclivities. We have a real terrorist here, an actual bona fide domestic terrorist. Like I said, he has numerous real life aliases, but the one I use typically is Aaron Gray. But he has several others, and he is a legitimate danger to society, without question. He threatened to cut me into pieces. He stated that to my face, so to speak. Live on internet. But constant death threats. He's made numerous death threats to people, including myself. So yeah, this guy is not. He's not somebody you want to be near. Especially if he's got full-blown AIDS. You definitely don't want to be around him then, because you could get AIDS from him, They're saying now it's easier to get AIDS than what they first anticipated. So, what does that mean? Well, they're not exactly forthcoming, but I mean, if it's easier now to get AIDS from somebody than it was before, my inkling would be is that you just have to be around them, you know, may not even have to touch them, just be around them and get AIDS. That would suck. That would really suck. But anyway, there was talk about a group home or something like that, something to that effect. So, you know, I'm not 100% sure on what the deal is on that. But maybe he had to stay in a group home because he was so weak and tired from AIDS that he had to stay in a group home or something. I guess, I don't know. I don't know the full particulars on it. I'm just, you know, like I said, I'm just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Now, Mr. Gray, who I'm calling Aaron Gray, he has some buddies that also participated in the demise of my children and my family. One Tiffany Moser, who also is a member of the Honor Network. And then there's also Doug McGuire, who is a member of the Honor Network. But now in Doug McGuire's defense, I don't think he personally went after my family. In fact, not only do I not think he went after my family, but he seems to have fallen off the face of the earth. So, interesting there. And let's see if I can remember some of the names of some of these other clowns. But the Honor Network has several people affiliated with it, and they are an online terrorist organization. They have been reported to the FBI numerous times, and no, not just by me. Lenny Posner has changed his address so many times that Pfizer's looking for him. Pfizer wants to know where you're at, Lenny Posner. But he's constantly on the run. He's constantly having to move and change because people are wanting him. People from Sandy Hook are wanting his ass. How do you get to be a millionaire from the death of your kid? How does that work, Lenny? Care to share with us how you become a multi-millionaire over the death of your supposed child? A child that to date you have not proven is dead? Where's the autopsy at there, Lenny? Where's the coroner's report? Oh, wait, there wasn't one. In fact, the coroner got up in front of the cameras, said he had no reports to give. Isn't that funny? How's come that is there, Lenny? Maybe inquiring minds want to know. So Lenny's on the run, and his Honor Network is online terrorizing the shit out of people, destroying people's lives. And the FBI was made aware of this group a long fucking time ago by me and by many, many others. But yet, as far as I know, they haven't done jack shit. Hey, Kash Patel. Hey, Kash Patel, you got your ears on? Maybe it'd be a good idea to actually start investigating the Honor Network. Find out what they did to my family, what they've done to other people's families. That sounds like an excellent thing to be doing right about now, Kash. Sounds like an excellent thing to be doing. So, yeah, let's get on that. Let's go after THN and the Honor Network, like you were told to do many, many, many moons ago, and get this shit took care of, huh? Because, destroying people's lives seems to be a lot of fun to these people, and I want to ruin their fun. Now, let me check my notes here. Someone is a registered offender, it says. What is that? Is that for Blue, or is that for Todd, or who's that for? Or maybe a registered offender or something? I don't know. I got registered offender down there, but damn, I can't figure it out what that's for. Maybe it's for Blue. I don't know. In any event, yeah, Blue has problems, big ones. Namely, all the death threats that he's made down through the years to various people. So yeah, he's a real piece of work. So if you see somebody with a blue banjo, with a cartoon of a guy playing a banjo, I want to avoid that person. I want to stay the hell away from him, because he's bad news. He is totally bad news. And I have a funny feeling that now that Kash Patel's in charge of the FBI, there's going to be some changes made. Call it a hunch. Because Kash Patel's already said he's going to crack down on a lot of this internet terrorism, cyber security, they call it. Yeah. He's going to crack down on some of this shit that's going on. And that sounds like music to my ears. Long overdue, but hey, better late than never. But anyway, good old Blue, personal hater of mine because I spoke out about Sandy Hook. Now you say, well, man, what is your contention on Sandy Hook in regards to all this matter since we got your attention? Well, I'll be happy to tell you. See, here's the problem with Sandy Hook. The problem with Sandy Hook is that by the eyewitness testimonies of the people that actually lived there, these families, quote unquote, didn't even show up until like a month before Sandy Hook went down. They bought houses in the area and stuff just not even a month in advance of Sandy Hook going down. Don't you find that odd? I find that very odd. And apparently Sandy Hook found it odd too. The people of Sandy Hook found it odd too. You know, there is a lot of questions about this Sandy Hook. Like, why would people be laughing and cracking jokes when their kids die? You know, that doesn't make any sense. That sounds pretty fucking morbid to me even, you know. But yet these people were caught on stage cracking jokes immediately after the loss of their child. What the fuck? And then when he gets up in front of the microphone, then he starts sobbing crocodile tears. Okay, we have a word for that, folks. It's called crisis actor. Maybe you've heard of it. So these people are crisis actors, and that you know, I don't think there's any question of that, because you're not going to be sitting there cracking jokes 1 second and then crying crocodile tears the next. So now, but what's your big contention, Von? Okay, my big contention with Sandy Hook is the fact that Obama used Sandy Hook to literally try to repeal the Second Amendment. Now, I know a lot of people, oh, well, he can't do that. He can't do it. Yeah, he can do it. And here's the scary part. He almost succeeded. We come this close to losing our Second Amendment rights, folks. And if you know anything about the Constitution at all, you know that if they can take away your Second Amendment rights, the rest of them ain't far behind. But that's the big red flag to Sandy Hook, is that Obama used Sandy Hook to try to repeal the Second Amendment. And this is all well documented. It's all out there in the media. Everything, you know, it's easy to find. Just put it in a Google search. Did Obama use Sandy Hook to try to repeal the Second Amendment? They'll say, yeah. Okay? This is a fact. This isn't Von Helton's opinion. It's a fact. Okay, so that's the biggest red flag about Sandy Hook, is that Obama tried to use it to repeal the Second Amendment. So, I mean, you know, what more evidence do I need? I don't need any more evidence. The people only got there about a month in advance. Then they bought homes there. And, you know, the crocodile tears, and then the fact that Obama used it to try to repeal the Second Amendment, you put all that together and it's a hoax. It's the only thing it can be is a hoax. Okay? Where's the autopsies? Where's the obituaries? Where's the coroner's reports? Because the coroner got in front of the fucking news media and said he didn't have no damn reports. Right? Yeah, you all saw that live on TV. So what the fuck's going on? Well, it ain't real. That's what's going on. That's the only conclusion you can draw, is that it ain't real. Now, well, Von, if it ain't real, why did Alex Jones lose in that court case? Because he's a dumbass. Because he's a dumbass, or it was staged, one or the other. Because if he'd have put me in there after Lenny Posner's people personally attacked my family, I'd have won that case like that. Tiffany Moser personally contacted the Frosts and had them to come over there and trash my apartment and take pictures. And then she took those pictures, collated it into a video to make it appear like I was living like some kind of damn slumlord or something. So Tiffany Moser of the Honor Network and Aaron Gray of the Honor Network were both personally involved in the destruction of my family. Not maybe, not kinda, they were. And so as such, I think it's pretty obvious that, you know, I have a case. Durr. By the way, Cash, I hope you are listening, and I hope you're taking notes. because this needs to be a thing, you know. Stopping the Honor Network and stopping THN needs to be a thing, Cash. And you promised reform, and you promised that you would get to the bottom of some of this cyber stalking that goes on the internet. Well, good for you. I hope you mean it, because it needs to be done. This shit needs to be stopped, right? I've lost my family. I've lost my finances. I've lost my property. I've even lost my dogs. So maybe it's time to get more serious about this cyber stalking and shit on the internet and get it took care of, right? Yeah, I think so. I think it's long overdue. But anyway, good old Aaron Gray, he's got his past catching up to him at breakneck speed, almost as fast as Swan. Yeah, what about that? And yeah, telling people that you're going to hang Chinese people, Chinese Americans. Damn, Blue, that's harsh. That's hardcore, buddy. Yeah, your past is going to find you out, Blue. Don't worry, it will. It'll find you out. And it's kind of ironic you say you hate Chinese, because Candace is Chinese. Well, Taiwanese, Chinese, same difference. See, Taiwan, for those of you who don't know and are not historians, Taiwan is the people that used to be the ruling class, the elites of China years and years ago. I forget which dynasty, but they used to be the actual government of China years ago, and they fled to, when China went communist, they fled to Taiwan. That's why China keeps trying to get Taiwan so bad, is because it's the people that used to run China. And see, if China takes Taiwan, they'll slaughter those people, because those people are all descendants of the original Chinese government. You follow me? And that's why China keeps wanting Taiwan so bad, so that they can kill all them people. Because that's what they will do. If China gets a hold of Taiwan, they will kill all them people. Just like North Vietnam killed all the South Vietnamese. But as soon as we pulled out, as soon as America pulled out of Vietnam, the Viet Cong went into South Vietnam and slaughtered all those people. Thousands and thousands of innocent people died because America pulled out too soon. And we have General Giap's own message, General Giap's own words. He said if America had held out for just one more week, he would have had to sue for peace, because he was out of supplies. He was out, especially medical supplies. He was completely out of medical supplies. He was low on ammunition. He was low on everything, but he was especially the medical supplies. And he said if America had held in there for one more week, he'd have had to sue for peace. Doesn't that suck? Doesn't it suck to find that out? That if we'd have just hung in there for 7 more days, and all them people in South Vietnam would all be alive today, every one of them. But that's water under the bridge, and we just got to make sure we don't repeat it. Make sure it doesn't ever happen again, right? Anywho, and so it's ironic that Blue would be vehemently against Asians, because Candace is an Asian. And whoever has control of Candace's phone, they read all my messages on WhatsApp, and then they blocked me. So I'm kind of leaning in the direction that Candace may not have her phone, that it may be someone else. Because I don't think Candace would have blocked me. I think she would have tried to explain to me what her actions were. That's just me, though. I think she owes me an explanation, since I was the one told her not to go around strange men. Right? But whatever. I don't know. Maybe in her twisted mind, she thought that this would be a good thing. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? But one thing I do know, as an orderly of 14 years and an EMT of 5, because as an EMT, you see it all, man. You get to see everything. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And I can tell you, good old Candace was fertile myrtle, man. So whoever popped her cherry is definitely the father. And I'm going to reiterate again, whoever you are, it behooves you to make damn sure that the Wisconsin court system knows where you're at and who you are. Because if that family court judge has to come hunting your ass with a sheriff, you're going to wish he didn't. So now, you better be fessing up, whoever you are. You better get online and fess up. Yeah, okay, I popped her cherry, and yes, okay, I'm probably a father right now. Because if you don't, and that sheriff has to come hunting for your ass, you're going to wish he didn't. All right? I'm just telling you, because I've been on both sides of that aisle. All right? And I'm not playing. And neither is the court system. Because the court will find you. They will find your ass. Well, I'll just have her go get an abortion. That doesn't absolve you of your responsibility, though, now does it? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because the court's still going to want an answer. Even if you get Candace to abort the child, the court's still going to want an answer. They just are. That's how court systems work. So you enjoy that shit, right? And, of course, obviously, I can't be your boyfriend anymore because somebody else beat me to that. So, but Candace made her bed and now she's lying in it. Literally, as well as figuratively. Oh, nobody seems to know where Candace is. Well, then that means she's a missing person, doesn't it? So does that mean I need to fill out a missing persons report? Or are we gonna be men and fess up to what we've done? That's on you guys. It ain't on me. It's on you guys. As I tell you, police take missing persons reports very seriously. I guarantee they do. We don't know where she's at. Okay, then she's a missing person, by definition, right? I think somebody needs to start fessing up here real fast, because this thing is spiraling out of control, boys. You can sit there and play it off all you want, but it's spiraling out of control. Because I'm telling you right now, when that family court judge sends the sheriff out, that sheriff's going to want answers, and he's going to want them yesterday. All right, that's just the facts. And this is all out of my hands, by the way. I have nothing to do with it. You know, I lost a girlfriend. Oh, well, you know, shit happens. That's the way things go. That's the way the ball bounces. But, you know, I'm on record telling Candace not to go around strange men, that she should save, and she told me herself she wanted to save herself. Well, that didn't work out, now did it? Oh, I'm going to save myself. Well, that didn't work out, did it, Candace? No, it didn't. So, you guys enjoy that shit. And Blue, you, I think, need to own up for your crimes as well. And that's what I think. Call me crazy. There's a whole lot of shit going on. Luckily, though, it don't have nothing to do with me. Not directly, not no more. What's been done to me has been done. Of course, my children are the real losers because they lost their daddy, their mommy, both sets of grandparents. They lost their childhood because CPS stole it. They lost their inheritance. They lost everything. My kids are the real losers. All because of a bunch of dickwads on the fucking YouTube. Wowee. Horrible. Well, there's going to be a payday someday, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to be a payday someday. You guys are not going to escape this shit. I guarantee it. Hopefully, I know I will be, because you will see the destruction of your enemies. So I'll get to see the destruction of you guys. I'll get to see it. It'll be glorious. It might even be televised. You are the father. I ought to call Maury Povich's show just for shits and giggles. You know what? I really should. I should have called that fucking show. Say, hey, I just happen to know somebody that just got knocked up. I ought to call their ass just for shits and giggles. But I'm not. I'm not, because I'm not a fucking YouTube troll. Wow. Who knew? I'm not a YouTube troll. I'm not an asshole. I'm a nice guy. Maybe too nice. And, you know, but Candace was warned by me numerous times, and she didn't listen to me. And so now Candace has a real problem. Now, I know the retort is going to be, well, she's an adult and she can do whatever the fuck she wants. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. But when you have somebody that actually does give a fuck about you, you probably ought to listen to what they say. Just saying. You know, just throwing it out there. Because now she's pregnant. And the guy that come and picked her up at News Unit's house is probably not the one that popped her cherry. Of course, it could be, but it might not be. We don't know. It's the big mystery, you know. It's the mystery of the hour, you know. We don't know. But I know somebody that will know, that family court judge, because he's going to send the sheriff out, find out what the fuck's going on, right? Absolutely. And the beautiful thing is, I don't have to do shit except sit back here with my bag of fucking chips. I got me a bag of Lay's potato chips here. I got my potato chips. I got my fucking Powerade. And I'm just going to sit back and munch on my chips and drink my Powerade and watch the fucking festivities begin. Because it only gets worse from here. It doesn't get better. Like I said, even if you have her go get abortion, that doesn't absolve you of your responsibility. Because the court will tell you that to your face. Oh, you went and had her get an abortion? Too bad, motherfucker. How about 30 days in the lockup? You know, you're not getting away. None of you are. And now that we got 11 rocks heading our way, maybe none of us is getting away. Did you ever think about that? There's 11 rocks heading straight for us. Google it. This is going to be real fun. It's going to be real interesting. Anyways, that's enough about that, because, you know, she blocked me on WhatsApp, refuses to answer any of my questions on WhatsApp and blocked me, so, okay. There we go. That's the end of that. That's the end of her, maybe permanently. Of course, there is one other option that you guys have, and that would be to kill Candace and dump her body somewhere. Of course, I imagine that would probably get y'all in a lot more hot water than you're already in, right? There is that option, though, I guess. So I guess I have to mention the fact that that is an option. Candace probably wouldn't like that option too well, though, I bet. But it is an option. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. But I just thought I would regale you with the information that I, as her former boyfriend, was aware of. And so now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Y'all have a pleasant day and a better tomorrow. Bye.
So she was, hold on a second. Von Helton was the former boyfriend. Okay, so I'm trying to get this whole thing straight. The one goal of Von Helton with regard to Candace over the past number of years was to get her over to America, get her married, and get her pregnant. Okay? That was objective one. So, fast forward, Candace comes to America and gets pregnant. So now that she's pregnant, Von Helton is mocking her about the fact that she's pregnant and making up all these stories about the father and fess up and all this key rap. But I'm figuring if we all lose one IQ point every time we watch one of these BS Von Helton clips, segments, videos, live streams, whatever, I figure my IQ right now is about minus 296. Is there a way to measure, like pre-Von Helton and post-Von Helton IQ status? I wonder. Anyway, I hope to bring you some more real soon, if there is. Until then, I will see you then. Bye. Okay, so what do we do here? We just fade to black? As we do.